What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 2 Team Builder for NCL Season 7's of Striker, taking on my good pal Jed and the Adelaide Overheat. Everyone should know Jed by now. He's a great friend of mine, and we've played him many times. In fact, probably over, I think this might be our 21st game against each other in the 3 years that we've known each other. So, let's talk about his team. So, Jed has Urshifu Rapid Strike, which is the water one that gets Surging Strikes. Mandibuzz, Galarian Slowbro, Rotom-Mow, Runerigus, Masquerain, Mega Charizard X, Tapu Lele, Pincurchin, Cryogonal, and Stakataka. His priority users are the Urshifu with Aqua Jet and the Cryogonal with Ice Shard, as well as Rotom-Mow with Sucker Punch, but you don't really see that too often. Hazard setting, I mean, he's probably not going to use the priority anyways. He's got a Tapu Lele. Hazard setting, he's got the Runerigus with Toxic Spikes and Rocks, Masquerain with Webs, Pincurchin with Spikes and Toxic Spikes, and Stakataka with Rocks. If I had to guess anything that would be carrying rocks against me, it would probably be Runerigus rather than Stakataka, but there you go. Removal options, he's got the Mandibuzz with Defog, Rotom with Defog, Masquerain with Defog, Charizard X with Defog, Cryogonal with Defog, and Rapid Spin. All important because Charizard obviously gets nerfed by rocks quite a bit. And Mandibuzz without Heavy Duty Boots also gets really cocked, as well as Masquerain. Granted, they'll both probably run Heavy Duty Boots all the time, same with Cryogonal. But Rock Chip's still very useful against the mons that don't get that. Things like Galarian, Slowbro, Rotom-Mow, etc. 4 times weaknesses on his team: Masquerain to Rock, Stakataka to Ground and Fighting, and prior to Mega Evolution, Charizard to Rock as well. And that's pretty much that. In terms of what I'm expecting versus not expecting, I don't really think it makes all that much sense to bring Webs against me, but he could, so I don't know. I don't really think Masquerain is coming. I don't have the best plan to deal with a Masquerain per se. I just don't foresee it coming against me, really, so I'm kind of playing around that in the fact that it's not going to come. Pincurchin is another mon that I just don't think has any place in this matchup. I have 2 ground types on my team and a Dracozolt, so I don't really see any reason for Pincurchin to come ever. Especially if he wants to give me electric terrain for Dracozolt, then by all means. Dracozolt is the primary reason why I think Runerigus is 100% going to come in this game. I think Urshifu probably will come as well. It's, my water type isn't a great check to it because it's dual water and fighting, so Empoleon is going to get chunked to shit by close combat. And besides that, water seems pretty good against me. Like the thing that's going to check it is Chestnut, and Chestnut is going to have to check Stakataka as well. Stakataka, because I have a Chestnut, I don't think it's good. But if he can kill Chestnut, then it's great. So that's just sort of how it goes there. Because Chestnut exists, Stakataka is awful. But without Chestnut alive, Stakataka is fantastic against me. So I'm iffy on what he wants to go with that. Cryogonal can take it out. Mandibuzz can take it out. Charizard X can take it out. Slowbro might be able to take it out if it's special. Masquerain might be able to take it out as well. Lele can take it out. So there's a lot of options that he has for Chestnut, but I think it's a mandatory bring against his team anyways. If I had to predict 6, I would say probably Zardex, Lele, Mandibuzz, Urshifu, Runerigus, and Slowbro. Quite possibly Slowbro. Slowbro is one of the better defensive checks to whatchamacallit, Venomoth. But also, I was going to go for Chestnut as well. So, in case he thinks that I'm an offensive Chestnut, maybe he brings that. Maybe Rotom-Mow comes. Excuse me. I think I avoided talking about Rotom-Mow a little bit there. But Rotom-Mow is also obviously solid. Rotom-Mow and Rotom-Wash both have really good matchups against my team. Although Rotom-Mow is a little bit worse because Rotom-Wash can simultaneously check Cinderace. I'm not bringing Cinderace, but he doesn't really have a great check to Cinderace in this game besides like Mandibuzz, which puts Mandibuzz on a lot of hard duty because Mandibuzz and Urshifu are the 2 dark resists on this team. For handling Darkrai, that's really dangerous because it means that I actually only need 1 other coverage move, and I have that. So we'll talk about when they get to it, but just to avoid some yawning here, I'm gonna take a drink. Okay, let's talk about what I'm bringing now then. First up is Chestnut. I've kind of gone over this a little bit already. Rocky Helmet there to punish the Urshifu, which doesn't get recovery. It might get Drain Punch, I'm not entirely sure. Completely stops Sakataka outside of Heat Crash. Let me calc what Heat Crash does really quickly, because I actually have no idea how much Heat Crash does to me, and I did not bother calcing it ahead of time. So, Sakataka... Heat Crash does half. Does half. So that's a threat. I mean, he has to have the Heat Crash to be able to do anything to me, and he needs Gyro Ball, he needs Earthquake, and he might need Stone Edge, depending on how he feels about Gliscor. Yeah, he definitely needs Gyro Ball. He definitely needs Earthquake from Empoleon, or he's not going to be able to break that with Heat Crash either. And yeah, I feel like he would want Stone Edge. Maybe not. I'm not sure. He might not need a rock coverage move. So Trick Room, Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Heat Crash could be a viable Staka set, which I just automatically lose to. And there's nothing I can really do about that. My team isn't really built to handle all of these like, there's a lot of Pokemon on here that I'm just not built to handle. So yeah, like Urshifu is not something that my team handles well. So I'm a bit worried about that, but hopefully Chestnut can punish some U-turns or something, and hopefully it punishes Staka. That's literally all Chestnut is there for, is those two Pokemon, as well as being able to just set up spikes. And so because it's only checking those two Pokemon, I'm opting into Drain Punch so that I can check the stack attack a little bit better. Toxic to catch Mana Buzz on the switch. There's no Heal Beller on this team, so Toxic will be able to hit everything that's not named Slowbro. I mean, Slowbro could definitely switch in, but I'll probably Spikes the first time and Toxic the second time, something like that. Synthesis as well to just recover myself up against Urshifu or Staka or whatever. I think this can pressure a few things, but it cannot deal with Sub-Zard, which is something that is very scary. This potentially can. I should be able to live one hit from the Zard and break a sub with Earthquake. Honestly, Adamant Golurk kind of just goes ham. The one thing that I can't really deal with is Mandibuzz, but I don't see a single Poltergeist switch in besides that. I ran the calc, and Mandibuzz absolutely tanks Poltergeist. Nothing else tanks Poltergeist. I'm running Iron Fist, which is not right. I was running Iron Fist because I had Ice Punch, but I should be running No Guard. So I will never miss a Poltergeist, which again should just absolutely dominate some things. Adamant Golurk is an absolute threat. Earthquake there because there's not a lot of stuff that's like actually floating. And then Rocks just to hazard stack a little bit here. He could definitely defog, but I'm hoping that I can prey on a defog turn a little bit better than I could without Rocks up. So that's Golurk. I'm running a lot of speed. This outspeeds no speed Rotom Mow, so I should be able to outspeed that and just blow it back. Empoleon, I'm running an Assault Vest set. This is specifically for the Tapu Lele. I actually don't need, I need that. There we go. So, Flash Cannon, Surf, Ice Beam, and Brine. I really only felt like I needed Flash Cannon, Surf, and Ice Beam. And I'm running Brine just in case something is below half. Brine will do enough to it. I don't have a good way to hit Urshifu, so I'm kind of just banking on other things. I should actually be running Scald over Surf, because once he sees Surf, Urshifu will be a free switch in. I mean, I guess I could be running Grass Knot over Brine to catch an Urshifu, but I don't think it's going to do enough that I care. So I should be running Scald over Surf. It's just, I didn't want to Scald, like, Mandibuzz and then burn it when I have Toxic on a bunch of stuff to be able to handle it, but Scald should be better for like Slowbro and Urshifu, so I guess I'll run the Scald there. I'm going to have to update this in my front office. I'm running 0 speed so that Gyro Ball is doing no damage to me from Staka, but I should still outspeed it, and Scald will be able to do a lot, especially if I'm in Torrent range. I still like having Brine on here. If you didn't know, the power doubles when your opponent is at 50 HP, 50% HP or below. So something like a Lele, for example, if it's just getting chipped down by hazards over and over and over again, I can Brine it, and then I don't have to worry about potentially a roll with Scald or anything like that. It could have Rest, because it does get Rest now, but I just thought that Brine was kind of cool tech to add on there in a move slot that I didn't really need. Gliscor. I'm running physically defensive Gliscor. This should be able to handle Zard. I'm hoping. Outside of that, there's some taunt mons that could shut me down, but I think Urshifu is probably the biggest threat to this. Urshifu and Cryogonal, to my FizzDef Gliscor here. I'm running SD Facade, which should do a lot, and then Earthquake is there for the Stakataka, which is the only normal resist outside of Runerigas, which I just Earthquake as well. I don't really want to deal with Wandering Spirit, because then I will take a lot of damage from Toxic Orb building up on me. So I'm not super thrilled about that, but this is a little bit more of an offensive Gliscor that I think might be able to do something as well as be defensive, and I didn't need rocks on it because I'm running rocks on Golurk. In fact, I'm bringing like all of my hazard setters besides Vikavolt and Venomoth, I guess. So he's going to have a tough time deciphering which is going to be the rocker until I actually set them up. Darkrai is next. I'm running enough speed on here to outspeed Cryogonal, which is the fastest Pokemon on his team. So I'm outspeeding his entire team bar any Scarfers. And I'm running Boots so that I'm not affected by the webs from Masquerain. Nasty Plot, Thunderbolt, and Dark Pulse. So Plot obviously is just to get off bigger damage. Once I get a Plot off, the game might be over. If I can get a Plot off and he doesn't have any Scarfers to revenge me, I'm assuming Urshifu is going to be Scarfed, by the way, to revenge this. Or Lele, sorry. Lele could also be Scarfed to revenge this. If there aren't any Scarfers, or the Scarfers are dead, then the game's over once I hit +2, because Darkrai just kills everything. And if he doesn't bring any Scarfers because he's relying on webs, then he's in for a real shock, because in Boots, I have Hypnosis there as a filler move. Hopefully I can catch something with Hypnosis and just set up a Plot on it or just destroy it. Like I said, his Dark Resists are Urshifu and Mandibuzz, and they're both weak to Electric. So Thunderbolt is the perfect coverage option, and I really don't need another move because Dark Pulse hits everything, like I just said. So yeah, I have the ability to run Modest Darkrai this game, and I only need 2 attacking moves. So it's kind of the perfect matchup for Darkrai. If last week wasn't a perfect matchup, then this certainly is. And then last but not least is my premier wall breaker in this one, which is Mega Gardevoir. Has the same sort of idea as Darkrai, is that he doesn't have a lot of checks to it. His fairy resists are Mega Slowbro and Stakataka. So I'm not actually running any coverage for the Staka because Chestnut just sits on it, and I probably should be running something over Expanding Force, but I just wanted to have a bit of a stronger Psychic attack to spam. It would be my strongest attack to spam if I managed to get in terrain with Lele. I can just click Expanding Force and claim some kills. But Hyper Voice, besides that, is going to be really useful in this one. Psychic will be able to hit the Slowbro neutrally, and I'm not really going to be able to dent the Staka, depending on how bulky it is. It should take a lot, though. It doesn't have great SpDef, so it should take a lot early on. And if I'm not in Trick Room, I can Destiny Bond, or if he decides to set up Trick Room the turn that I Destiny Bond, then I'm in for a little bit better of a time. I may opt into not running Psychic and running Mono Expanding Force and have Focus Blast. I feel like I want Focus Blast now, just in case for the Staka. It's going to miss, but like, I may as well try for it, right? I was running Synchronize for something because I didn't want to trace an ability, maybe. Why wouldn't I want to trace, like, Levitate or Regenerator? Yeah, I don't know why I was running Synchronize. Clearly wasn't thinking. I think I am going to... Expanding Force is a little bit weaker than Psychic Terrain, but I think Expanding Force is more usable in a matchup where he's got Lele. So I think I will swap out... We will swap out Psychic for Focus Blast. So Gardevoir is tying the Mega Charizard X, and like I said, I think it's probably in most game states, it's going to be my lead option. If his dedicated lead option is going to be Masquerain, then that's fine as well. I don't have the best Lele answers. I also, in turn, could just lead Darkrai and sort of scout for a Scarf on something. It doesn't really matter what I opt to go with. I think Gardevoir's a little bit better because I'm probably not going to die to Urshifu if the Urshifu's Scarf right off the bat, and I'm going to be able to beat like a Mandibuzz lead. I'd be able to beat a Masquerain lead very easily. Just anything that's not Stack Attacka, I'd be able to lead against very easily. So that is the Gardevoir, and obviously we've adjusted there. In terms of what I'm not bringing, Vikavolt doesn't have the best matchup here. It can run a bunch of moves, but I think Cryogonal kind of mostly just sits on it. And Zardex always comes in on it after I get a kill, so I don't really like that too much. Cinderace, same sort of problem, especially with Runerigus. I just didn't want Cinderace coming with Runerigus. Runerigus is a big problem that I haven't discussed a lot, but just being able to kill it is not going to be an easy task. Dracozolt I wanted to bring, but I couldn't because of Runerigus. Otherwise, I definitely would have brought Dracozolt. Scarf Dracozolt would have just demolished this team with Bolt Beak. Venomoth I also wanted to bring, but I realized I would have to get to +2 to be able to outspeed Scarf Lele, and that is no bueno. Regice does not have a matchup whatsoever. Urshifu and Mega Charizard X just pick on Regice so much. It's better against like Rotom Mow, but being able to Volt Switch out is just really obnoxious. Like last week, Regice did super well because the Kyurem doesn't have like a U-turn option, and it could just sit on Kyurem. But this week, I don't think it's going to go that simply. So that is the team. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys for the match against Jed and the Adelaide Overheat.